I hope you liked that little intro cinematic, because that was fun, but it got a little exhausting towards the end. Now, I assume everybody who sees this is a relative, so ignore this video. I don't know. I just wanted to do this preemptively, so I didn't have to do this in the future when I'm on the boat somewhere. My name's Stratton. I've been living on a sailboat the past year and a half. This isn't a sailboat, obviously. That's because we're back visiting home for a bit. And we're going to try and cover that past year and a half or so, maybe more, in like 15 minutes. Once again, this is a video not for the people that know me, but for people that don't. So if I know you, like, if you're a friend, if you're a relative, click off. You know this all. So yeah, like I said, I'm 13. I've been living on a sailboat for the past year and a half. Obviously, right now I'm not on the sailboat. We just flew in back to Washington, our home state, about 2 days ago on the 3rd. It's May 5th right now, Cinco de Mayo. So the reason I'm only covering the past year and a half or so of my life is because everything before that is boring. There's nothing interesting about it. Really, it's just a kind of regular life. So, you know, it doesn't need to be mentioned. So about a year and a half ago, me and my family moved on to... Oh, I'm talking too quick. It's way too fast. So about a year and a half ago, me and my family moved on to a sailboat in Barcelona, which is the Mediterranean. It's all the way on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, which means 3 months after that, we crossed the ocean. But before we did that, we had to go between a small town in France and Barcelona a billion times to get work done. So then from there, we finally departed from Barcelona. We went to Gibraltar, walked pretty much the entire Rock of Gibraltar, which was fun. You get an incredible view of the airport, which is already a really cool airport. From there, we did it was a 3 or 4 day passage to the Canary Islands, which, if you don't know what the Canary Islands are, they're Spanish islands off the west coast of Africa. So, from there, right, we're in Gran Canaria, we picked up some hitchhikers, which, I kid you not, hitchhikers, it sounds made up. 2 random German hitchhikers who came with us across the Atlantic, which they were a big help. Okay, ignore the weird line of light across my face. Just, I'll be more conscious of lighting in the future. I just don't want to reshoot this, really. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out the first time, and the lighting is just a small little thing. So, from there, we departed on our 19-day journey across the Atlantic Ocean, with crappy weather the first day, and then nothing except a couple squalls the rest of the time. I mean, there's some wind, but generally there was not much wind. And we didn't have a spinnaker at the time. It was perfect spinnaker weather. If we had a spinnaker at the time, we would have been flying, probably done the crossing in like 17 days, only shaved like 2 days off it. Actually, I'm not going to say 17, it would shave time off. So, partway through, we did what everybody does crossing not everybody, but most people do crossing the Atlantic Ocean when there's no wind. We stopped, hopped in the water, and went for a swim. And no, this isn't some horror story of one of us getting sucked off to sea. It was just, we went for a swim. So then from there, like I said, because it wasn't a horror story, we stopped again because we had some time to spare. Not like we were on a strict schedule, but there was a bit of scheduling, so we hopped in again to kill some time. And once again, not a horror story. Yeah, we didn't catch many fish on the crossing or anything. We caught a mahi and a tuna. Oh, so in the last 10 hours, we lost our autopilot. We still had manual steering, but autopilot was just done. It was like, nah, no. So that was fun. We got fixed as soon as we got there, but for 10 hours, it was hand steer only. I didn't have to do any of it, but like I said, those 2 German hitchhikers, they both offered to do long shifts of hand steer, which So after those 10 hours of hand steering, we finally got to, where did we pull in? We pulled into Martinique. We finally got to Martinique, St. Anne. It was beautiful because it's obviously, I mean, it was the first time we saw in 19 days, but it's a pretty island. Very green, pretty nice. Yeah, that was the Atlantic crossing, which was really boring. And then moving on from there, we did the Caribbean for a season, but we're kind of out of the loop because we had some, we just got to the Caribbean late. Everybody, actually no, not everybody. People were just in different places. We were out of time that season. So I apologize for the lighting. I'm dealing with the sun right now. So yeah, we pulled in there, and we did everything there. Made some friends, met the first boat families, and that was fun and dandy. So from there we went to Fort de France, which is like the main port of Martinique. It's the main port of Martinique, and there's a tree squeaking over there. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So we went to Fort de France in Martinique, and then went back to, I forget where we went from there, but we hopped around a couple places, and then we went to Carnival, which is just like a big celebration there. Imagine like Mardi Gras, that kind of style thing. It was really fun. That was really wild. We went from Martinique to Guadeloupe, and then from Guadeloupe we went to St. Martin, and then we went between St. Martin, St. Barth, whatever you want to call it. We went between St. Martin and St. Bart's multiple times, brought some friends on, went between them, and had a pretty good time. And then from there, we moved up to the USVIs, which that's where we got our first taste of like true cruising life and other boat families. So when we were in the USVIs, we mainly were in St. Thomas, but we did at one point hop over to St. John. So then from the USVIs, we went to Puerto Rico, did our thing there for a bit. We were just in San Juan, but it was pretty cool. So we went from Puerto Rico up to Florida. And then we did the East Coast, went all the way up to Acadia National Park in Maine. That was beautiful. And made our way down and left the boat in Charleston, South Carolina. I mean, there's a bunch more hopping on and off the boat before that. And then, yeah, so we hopped on and off the boat a couple times, and at a point along the way we picked up a pizza oven, which sounds ridiculous on a boat, but it's not electric or anything. It runs off propane, so it's really not that much more to deal with. And we've made some incredible food, because we're doing some like food trucks. So that's why I got pizza oven, because we're doing a pizza food truck along with the Mediterranean style, which, if you know, like kava, that's a little bit of lore that comes in a bit later. But that was actually something we were dealing with at the time, hopping between Charleston and Seattle. So actually it makes sense. So yeah, that was actually correctly placed lore drop. So we picked a pizza oven and didn't use it. It just never worked out. And then in South Carolina, we had some family on board who were going to be with us, getting down to Nassau. So that night we did a pizza party with them and brought some pizza to one of our neighbors. So yeah, so from there, like I said, we had family on board and we sailed down to Nassau. Specifically, we sailed to Atlantis, the resort, which that was really cool. You pay for the boat, and then you paid for docking the boat, and you have access to the resort, and it's so cool. I think it's only for a certain amount of people, so we had to pay for some of them, but yeah, really great deal. Because the docking wasn't outrageous either. I won't drop exact numbers, but it wasn't crazy. Yeah, so there we did the Bahamas. We went to the Exumas. We hung out in this place called Georgetown quite a bit, because that's just the main hub of everybody. Because basically everybody, at least kid boats, go to Georgetown, and then from there they go, hey, we're going to go to this island chain. Do you want to come with? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then you have caravans of boats going down. So some other friends we made on a boat named Yacht Rocker, they came down, they were originally going to go, if I remember correctly, to the South Pacific, go through the Panama Canal, but then their son, it's like his last couple years, 2 years left on the boat, so they're like, well, let's make sure he gets what he wants out of this, and so they ended up coming up to the Bahamas, and it was going to be a secret, except for the fact that no foreign land exists, and the mom kept updating it. So we're meeting up with those guys down in the Ragged Islands, which are beautiful. If you ever go and sail the Bahamas, go to the Raggeds, especially if you like spearfishing or snaring for lobsters or just snorkeling in general. It's so beautiful, and you can get some crazy fish. So yeah, did that with them. Some other friends on was it another summer, Amore Explorer, a couple other boats. We hung out down in the Raggeds, and that was really fun. That was, yeah, it was a great time. And then we went back to Georgetown with Yacht Rocker and hung out with Everyday Saturday Teach, Yacht Rocker, all the original, except for 2 boats, but the main Bruce Bay crew, which that was so fun. Every night we were at somebody's boat doing something. Actually, we were doing fires for a while, which that was really fun. So from there, though, we went down, did the Raggeds one last time, we went up, we dashed around a bit, but then we were like, hey, we're, some of our friends, we gotta leave the Bahamas soon, because, on the passage down from Charleston, our mainsail and our Gennaker and our Genoa all failed in their own ways. So that was fun. But I was going around a bunch of places, and we were like, well, we're gonna have to split off from our friends, and we were like, damn. And then some of our friends were like, hey, we're going to the Raggeds. Anybody want to come with? And we were like, well, I guess we have time. And so we went down to the Raggeds with them, and then we thought, okay, for sure we're splitting up. Never going to see them again, at least not this season. We're not going to see them again for the season. And that ended up not being the case, because then we went to Staniel Key and hung out there, weathered out some weather. And I say weathered out, I mean we anchored the boat, and I had a sorry attempt. I tried my best at wing foiling, which is where you hold a big sail, and as I was saying before I got interrupted by my own stupidity, it's where you hold a big wing, inflatable wing, and then you're on a foil, like a hydrofoil. So that's really fun. I'm pretty good behind a dinghy. I'm not that great with the wing, so something to work on if we go back next season. Yeah, so then we went out some window, hung out with all our friends, met some new friends, which we ended up buddy boating with our friends who we thought we'd be leaving up some islands, and had a great time. And then we ended up splitting off with a boat named Stella Luna, egregiously nice motor yacht. It's crazy. So we went to Nassau with them. We were just gonna get fuel in the marina because we tried to get a slip. They didn't have a slip for us. So what ended up happening was we went and we were just gonna get fuel, and we got there before our friends because we left before them and made some pretty good time. But what ended up happening is we were just gonna get fuel and go anchor out, and then dinghy in to the marina and go get dinner with them, and say our final goodbyes to the last friends that we were hanging out with for the season. Yeah. So what ended up happening is the fuel pumps were broken, which a crew came out, and the whole time me and my mom, or basically all of us, were fingers crossed, right? it doesn't work tonight, we can just stay at the dock. Makes it so much easier. And then and then they're fixed in the morning, and we can go on with our merry way, right? And that's exactly what happened. A crew came out that night. They didn't fix it, and so we went to the marina, and we were like, hey, if we can't get fuel, can we just dock here? We still have to pay for the slip, but like, can we just stay here? And they let us, so that was great. We were able to hop off the boat, go with them to dinner, had a jolly old time. Insane fish tacos. Next day we had to say our final goodbyes, and that was kind of sad. This is like the only time I've been super mad about. I wasn't super mad, but the only time I've like really been like, oh damn, that would have been a really cool video. And the file got corrupted. It didn't it's weird. My 360 camera was having some issues. So yeah, but basically what I had it just chest mounted, and it was me, helping with the docking of this. I think it was like 68-foot motor yacht, and it's just such a cool boat. It's so nice. We say like, oh, our boat's a floating home because it's a 62-foot catamaran, right? Massive boat. You walk into their boat. They have a couch for a regular house. Like, it's not built in. It's not bolted down. It's just there. It's just there. It makes me mad just thinking about it. I mean, it's a comfortable couch, but yeah. Then from there we went and did a passage all the way to Florida, caught some fish, which I think is still on the boat. I'm not even sure if we ate all of it. I caught 3 fish. I caught a total of 29 pounds of fish, and they were all mutton snapper, which are a delicious fish. If you can get one spear fishing or trolling or drop fishing, however you want to get them, try. It's so worth it. They're such a good fish. Okay, I'll be totally honest. I forgot to do an outro. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. Maybe expect more videos of high-ish, maybe like medium effort. I'm not going to say high. Medium effort videos. Yeah, maybe expect more. I'm not sure what of, but maybe there'll be more to come. So, I don't know. Keep a lookout on Instagram. I'll probably post something if I do. If I post something, I'll post about it on Instagram. Have a good day, I guess. I don't know how to end this.